We appreciate you checking in with us today. I'm Marty with Warehouse and Operations as a Career. Our podcast is about the positions and opportunities within the warehouse, transportation, or operations fields. Today I'd like to talk a little about those opportunities and how just maybe we can push them along a little and make things happen for us. A few of the most frequent things I hear from supervisors and managers today pertain to advancement planning, attendance, and headcount struggles. I feel these are new opportunities for them. I used to hear much more about productivity and how it was so important to see at least marginal increases across the reporting quarters. Here at WAOC, we try and point out the shortcuts if there is such a thing. Experience is needed to advance in our chosen profession. We'll need to be noticed. Be there for our shifts every day that we can, and be involved. Have a plan. Know and obtain our short-term goals as well as our long-term goals. With those in mind, we will win the objective, which I hope is a great salary, a good work life, and a career we will retire from. I believe going into operations with a plan, something we've really thought about, is paramount to that success that we're looking for. Now, a job is a job. We'll get a paycheck every week, which fits some just fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if we want that job to be a career, we should be dedicated to it, loyal to our company, and use or stick to our plan. It will pay off for us. I was speaking with a supervisor last week. He had a gentleman that had just started working with his company as a lumper. The employee had worked 2 weeks on a training program, which is paid at a general labor pay rate, and it's an hourly position while in training. And his 3rd week, he went to the regular piece pay program, which gave him, that particular week anyway, the equivalency of about $1 an hour increase, which brought him to a fairly normal rate for the local market. The gentleman wasn't displeased with his pay, but stated he really needed to earn more money. The supervisor actually sat down with the employee and coached him a bit about how being just a bit more organized and moving just a little quicker when palletizing and wrapping the freight, he would be able to move more cases and make quite a bit more money weekly. He also shared with the employee that he had been impressed with his attendance, him being on time every day, and that he could see him one day being a dock lead possibly, explaining to him that he is doing an excellent job and coming along in his training at really an above-average rate. The following week, the employee was given even larger loads or loads with a bit more responsibility, and he was exposed to the slip sheet forklift with someone working with him, getting more training on it, and really training on another piece of powered equipment. The employee's pay increased the equivalent of about another $1 an hour for that week, bringing him to a really nice wage for the market and really put him in the forefront of his management team's thoughts. So in roughly 4 weeks' time, the employee had a pay increase of about $2 an hour if you converted his pay to an hourly rate. Now remember, he's on piece pay at this point. The employee was very happy with his job, stated he really appreciated the additional training and responsibilities, but asked how could he make more money and when could he be considered for that lead position. The supervisor told him to keep working hard, keep learning everything he could and helping others, and that he would probably see those opportunities arise. The employee seemed really satisfied and excited about their talk. Well, as it turned out, the employee no-called, no-showed the following Monday. Of course, the supervisor was a little concerned about him since he hadn't heard anything at all from him. The company's HR manager reached out to the associate a few days later to perform an exit interview. The employee stated he just was not making enough money and had found another position at the same pay rate. When asked did he feel he had been treated fairly by his managers, his answer was certainly. They were very nice and had spent the time that he felt was needed on training him and working with him. He was then asked about his pay, that upon taking the position it looked like that he had been offered an additional 50 cents above what he was making at his old position, and that he had actually increased his weekly pay by just under $2 in only 5 weeks, and been trained and certified to operate 2 types of equipment, an electric pallet jack and a slip sheet forklift, and that the supervisor had notated a discussion about a lead position that he felt you would possibly grow into. The employee stated yes, that all that was true, but he just wanted to make more money. The manager thanked him for his time at that point, wished him the best going forward, and encouraged him to always feel free to speak with an employer when something's bothering you and try to give notice when resigning if at all possible. So the supervisor was wondering if this had just been a bad hire. Had he missed something when working with the employee, or maybe did something, to make him quit? I explained from what I had heard, it sounded like the employee just really changed jobs. Me being a bit curious about such matters, I reached out to his ex-associate myself, but was not able to contact him, but I was able to speak with a peer that he worked very closely with. He stated the ex-associate had left for an hourly position doing the exact same thing, that he really liked the work, and now honestly wished that he had stayed where he was. Also, he hadn't been given a raise yet, at the new position. Now, mind you, he'd only been 4 weeks with the company that he started with, and he didn't see any opportunities there, was the comment from his friend. He then shared with me that his friend had quit the new place already and was looking for another job, and did I think that he could come back there? I told him I was sure they would love to have him back, but they had a pretty firm stance on the no-call, no-show rule. I really hate hearing these kinds of stories in our industry, and with our labor pool or demographics, I feel I hear them all too frequently. Unless we win the lottery, it's just a fact that we'll need to work the rest of our lives, at least if we want to live comfortably and be able to have everything that we want, not necessarily just our needs being met. I believe it's very much possible to have a job that we really enjoy, that we love doing and look forward to going to, every day. Well, most days anyway. And those jobs can make us great careers, taking care of us and our families, but I think we have some responsibilities ourselves, and that's a couple of the things we try and discuss here at WAOC, I guess. I believe it's so important that we have a plan, really know what our goal is. It's so easy to get stuck on that paycheck coming in each week, but I feel without an idea of what our long-term plan is, we'll find ourselves moving between jobs and not know or never really defining the reason why. With each new job, we'll be starting over again and again. There's really no shortcut to success in operations. We need those experiences that time will give us. But I think researching a bit about a company, knowing what kind of money it is that we're wanting to make, and what we want to be doing in, say, 2 years or 5 years, maybe even 10-year plan, having those short-term and long-term goals can get us there much quicker. I read a couple of articles this month that made me think about just this very subject. One forwarded to me for us here at WAOC by a very good friend. It was written by Lindsay Novak, Novak, entitled "A Year Here and There is No Way to Build a Career." She is speaking to another industry and position, but it gave me plenty to think about, and it probably will you too. Another one I found interesting and pretty spot on as well was by Julie Zhuo, titled "How to Think About Your Career." There's really hundreds of articles online. You all know how I feel about self-education and what we can learn to help us advance. Check out these two and cruise a couple of others. I can almost guarantee 30 minutes spent reviewing them or like articles will give you something that will help you next week at your own workplace. Anyway, I got lost again for a minute and kind of off topic. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, maybe the technologies fields. I can see how maybe, in computer sciences or programming or design fields, it's okay and probably accepted to change jobs every year or so. I mean, you may be bringing with you ideas or skills that others just, that they just don't have or possess. I'm sure companies are looking more at what you bring to the table or are going to bring to the company than how loyal you are or what your work history and longevity is. In our field, though, the skills that we need are not something taught in schools. We're, of course, shown how to perform our jobs, but experience and our experiences while performing the jobs is our education. I like to think of it as being paid while going to school. Our companies are paying us to learn, and in turn, we're performing a task for them and getting a paycheck. This training, or education as I like to call it, is expensive to our companies, or our universities, if you will, and when we jump from job to job, they usually are going to care. We're in the productivity world. Headcount matters. X number of boxes have to get moved each shift. When we as associates are not there, it will affect our customers, our work peers, and our company. I think that's why we need to think about what our resume or work history looks like. Now, not to say that we should worry about the number of jobs that we've had. There's always reasons, usually good reasons for leaving a job, but we need to be able to explain them and actually make sure we do explain them to our hiring agent so they know and feel that we're a committed employee. One of the great things about our industry is, or at least I believe is, that not only can many skilled positions in the warehouse and transportation fields pay us very rich yearly income, but can offer us very rewarding opportunities with management positions if we're interested. It's really up to us to be the best in like sanitation or unloading, loading, order selecting, forklift operator, or maybe on the receiving side. And the best in transportation positions like driver, helper, router, or maybe the logistics department, or driver positions, and maybe the best in building or fleet maintenance. It's honestly simple to be the best at any position. That doesn't necessarily mean we have to be the most productive or the fastest. We do need to work hard, give it our best, and be productive. But that great attitude and willingness to work with others, training others, are just as important. Our attendance and positive attitudes go a long way with our management teams, as will our participation in meetings and our input of ideas and suggestions. Being the best brings with it some responsibilities, and I really believe it will be noticed and rewarded by our managers. We've all had that peer that is favored or promoted by a manager because they're good friends or family members, and although we may feel slighted a bit, I've never seen it to be a positive thing for them in the long run. One promoted under such terms is really being cheated, I feel, and when their sponsors move on, they rarely make it on their own because they did not possess the skills needed for the job. Us that's put in the time and have the experiences, we're going to excel. It may take just a little longer, but hey, we're in it for the long haul, right? We're in it for that career, and we're going to keep on advancing. If we do our jobs well, and we are that employee to our managers, advancement and promotions are really just a byproduct for us. We like our job, and we're the best in the organization at it. Those things will just come knocking on our door. Let's go back to our employee we spoke of earlier. Did he just want too much, or was he in too much of a hurry? Possibly so. It appeared he did not want to complete the full course or curriculum or even a couple of semesters of that education. I believe companies pay for skills. In our industry, those skills are obtained by experience. The more we know about the positions within our warehouse, as an example, the more pay that's going to be involved. The only way to learn those things is with time invested and, of course, a bit of self-education on our part. I wholeheartedly believe career opportunities will come, and we can be ready for it, even make it come to us. We just have to open that door. I hope we're leaving you with a few thoughts, and maybe we've touched on something that fits within your goals and career path today. Please email us with any questions or if we can help you in any way. I'd ask that you check our Twitter feed at WHSEANDOPS. We share quite a bit about leadership there each week, and if you would give us a like on our Facebook page too. Again, at WHSEANDOPS. And as always, past episodes can be found on the website, warehouse-and-operations-as-a-career.com, and on iTunes, or I guess they've renamed it recently to Apple Podcasts, and Google Play Music as well. We didn't speak much about safety in this episode. Please remember it's the most important of our daily task and treat it as such. Share and participate in your next safety meeting and be that safety-conscious employee.